Okay, right. So, welcome back to the second. Yes, Ralph, we got that. Welcome back to the second Lockdown Logs and Reload podcast. Earlier on, we had New York based Mike Poley on for the Mark 1s, and today, or now, then, we're going to have Florida based listener Ian K. Ian and his wife, quite a collection of cars Volkswagens, Audis, BMWs, and a few American cars. So, he's going to have a quick walk around with us and chat about those. So, I'm depressing myself. I'm sitting in the workshop. I'm looking out the window. It's 10 degrees and it's lashing down. And we're going to go to Florida where it's going to be hot and sunny. So we'll get Ian on now. Just sending, waiting for it to connect. Hey Ian,
Heyo, what's up?
how's it going?
It's going, man. Just I'm listening to you talking about it's 10 degrees out there. It's, I don't know, 90 right now. So
I hate
90
you guys.
Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Ireland speak, but
It's a lot warmer than what we're getting anyway, I would say.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got that quarantine haircut. You can see.
Yeah. I'm going bald, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh dear. So, what have you got to show us first?
Yeah. So let's see here. So we'll go down this one here. I think it's the one most people know.
Yeah, anyone who's been about the car scene kind of in the last 10 years anyway will have seen this.
Yeah. I mean, it's been more or less the same thing for the past 10 years. It hasn't really changed. We built this thing. I mean, I say built it, like really when I say built, I'm considering like the 24 valve swap and the shave bay and everything. That was 10 years ago. And it basically made a couple rounds to a couple shows and then got put in the garage, and it's just been like a time capsule. It's kind of crazy to think it's been that long. But it hasn't changed much. There's small things here and there, but for the most part, it's the same. It's been since me and all my friends, Greg Swoops, Sean Landrigan, everyone who helped me, do all the work. I don't want to name everybody because I know I'm going to forget a bunch of people, but it's basically changed, stayed the same. It hasn't changed much at all. Just little things here and there, but
That was one thing I really liked about that car was when you said you were taking it back out for Alpine Vag Fair last year. I didn't even know you guys still had it. And then I started to flick back through social media and there was the odd post about it. But when I got to see it, as you say, it was just a time capsule. That thing hadn't changed in 10 years.
yeah, I mean, it really hasn't. There's like I said, there's very small things here and there. I did some stuff just because, Leah and I, my wife Leah, if those who don't know, she last year was just like, hey, do you want to go to Vag Fair? They're starting to show up again over there again. And, we used to always go to Southern Worthesy beforehand. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. She's like, well, let's get the Mark IV going because that thing hasn't seen the light of day. And so cleaned a couple things up on it. But other than that, just sort of left it the way it was.
Yeah, no,
It's got a lot of old school stuff. It's like, if I look, like it's got, standard, no manifold on the air system. It's a standard old valve setup. Still has, let's see here, old school controller.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of like RLF V1 Easy Street, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, I think so, if I recall correctly. Even still got old air fresheners.
Brilliant.
So
I'd be right in saying the time you guys done the 24 valve swap, that car was originally the 20 valve turbo.
Correct, yeah.
The shave bay and the wire tuck and that kind of thing would have been not massively new at that stage, but on Mark IVs and more modern stuff at that time, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff done like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was becoming more popular for sure. And it kind of was like just like one of those thoughts we were just talking about and talking to Leah about it. And she's just like, if we're going to do this, I want to put a 24 valve in it because honestly, she did it because she likes the noise. So that's why we did it.
I think that's why Leah and I got on so well.
Right. But, so like I said, it was a ton of help from my buddy Greg, Hardlines by Swoops or Swoops Build, however people know him now. And it definitely would not be what it is if it wasn't for him. And then as you and I were talking earlier, Sean Landrigan, he did all the body and paint work on it. Mainly when we did that, it was just the bay, but he even did other small things on the rest of the car, and it's really it's not like a show queen type car. It's a I'd say a driver with put air quotes on it, because obviously we don't drive it much, but it gets driven, to shows and stuff, and it shows. You can see little defects here and there, but I don't know. That's part of the fun is actually driving it and all that stuff. So
Yeah, you actually get to use it.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's seriously clean. I enjoyed. I think I spent maybe 20 minutes looking around it at the Mark IV meet last year, and I knew you just sort of pulled it back out of storage and got it going. I was like, this thing just looks great, and even like the bright colored wheels were very like 10 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
for some reason they've sort of stood the test of time with that car. I don't know what it is about it, but it still really suits it.
Yeah, something about those two colors, they really complement each other really well. And it was a hard time trying to find. It's hard to pick it up in photos what the color of the wheels and everything really look like. But we tried, like Lear wanted something really bright and kind of just really bright. So found a local guy that did it, and then I wasn't happy with it, so I actually took them apart. And I'm down here in Florida. I sent them up to New York to Tom Espo, had him redo them. He did a fantastic job on them, and I mean. I don't know.
And how long ago were those done?
They were originally done before we did the 24 valve swap, but then I redid them probably. Oh man, I don't know how long ago, but it's been a long time. It's still been at least 5-6 years since I redid them.
Brilliant.
So,
and just on the bright color theme, can you show us the interior then? I think there's between the headcloth and color lot trimmed in there.
Yeah. So we did like the diamond pattern stitch, purple headliner, and door inserts.
Yeah, that looks good.
The goal was to eventually do for like a full retrim eventually, but it's not the priority to get something like that done. And even if we did, I don't know what color we would go with. Like we'd either have to redo the purple or something, because I doubt it would be like a bright color like that, but we'd have to do something. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Maybe one day.
Yeah,
So,
well, you're like ourselves. You have a lot to get through.
Yeah. So yeah.
Excellent.
So that's that one, and then of course up here. Let's see. Up here we've got. It's kind of under construction, but
that's your own car.
They're all under construction. That's my E21. It's 1983 320. Been in the family since day one. My dad bought that car in 1982, and I grew up with that car. Me and my whole family, brothers and sisters, used to fit a family of 5 in this car somehow. And,
yeah, it's crazy. You see the cars like that, and you think to yourself, that was a big family car compared to now.
So it's got the original beige paint, which is very 70s 80s color.
Yeah, it looks great on it.
My dad gifted me this car years ago, and I kind of took it upon myself. I wanted to do some stuff to it, and the E21 is like the redheaded stepchild. It's everyone knows the E30. They like the E30. The E21 really isn't. There's not much, especially not like 5-10 years ago. There wasn't much aftermarket support or even just like support period. So it was like you kind of had to build whatever you wanted, or you had a very small group of people who were even into them, into restoring them or modifying them or doing whatever. I did small things. My goal was really for this car, anything I did to it, I wanted it to be 100% reversible.
Yeah. Because
I probably wouldn't ever reverse it, but just for in my mental state or my mind, like that just helped keep it more, I can't think of the right word, but just it's more nostalgic for me. I mean, because it's my dad owned it since brand new, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it
you understand that.
Yeah. And inside, like, so that one there, we did. I've done custom built coilovers because these were done. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, and just like the GTI, it was like a last minute dash to get it ready for Southern War to see. We took it to Southern War to see the day after, or the day of, that we built these things, built the wheels, built the coilovers, did a bunch of other stuff. It's got Euro bumpers on it rather than the US spec diving boards. BBS RS. The interior is, I can't really get up there right now, but it's got Nardi steering wheel, and then the OEM Recaro is just retrimmed in a tan like Euro vinyl.
Very nice. Yeah.
But other than that, it's yeah, exactly. It's a pretty stock car, stock motor so far. I've had ideas of putting something else in it, but I can never settle on anything. And again, like I said, it's like there's so many projects that I have going on. I don't know. I can't stop and spend time on one thing. So
yeah, I know exactly how you feel there.
So
that looks good.
Yeah. So I'll move along over here, a little different flavor. So here's Buick Grand National. It's a 1986. This is Leah, my wife's. It's her dad's car. When he passed away, we inherited it from him, and he was a car guy through and through. He worked for Brumos Racing, which anyone stateside might know of them. They're a pretty predominant Porsche racing team here, and any car he had to modify something on it. He had to touch it, had to do it.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
He got this car back in 1987 from a friend, I think, that worked with him. But it's been sitting here. This was every year. This is one of my goals, to try and get this thing going. I've been slacking, but it hasn't run since 2008. And honestly, I just need to spend time trying to figure out what he was doing to it, what if there was something wrong, or if it was just something he was just tinkering with, and getting it back on the road. Every year I say, I'm going to get it back on the road this year, so Leah can drive it, and I can drive it, and her brother can drive it, and go on in his memory. So that, and I think this is a cool car. I mean, the Grand National, even if you don't like it, you like it still.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. What are we looking at under there? Is it are they a turbo V6?
Yeah, they're turbo V6, gosh, someone correct me. I think 3.8 liter, I believe. I'm not an American car guy, so I don't know a whole bunch about them. I haven't done a lot of research myself even on it, other than just looking at random things here and there. But I want to educate myself. I want to get it going. But yeah, it's a V6 turbo. I mean, the interior has been torn apart because unfortunately it was flooded in Hurricane Michael a few years ago. So I had the interior torn. I tore the interior apart, dried out. There we go. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
Tore the interior apart to dry it out. Now it's just a catch-all for car covers. And it just sits here. I've even got some wheels up there waiting for it. And
right.
One day. So one day kind of
thing. What horsepower are those cars?
I couldn't even tell you. I think factory, they were somewhere around the mid 200s, maybe. And but it's not hard. It's not hard to get them up much higher than that. So I mean, and he's got a bunch of stuff done to it too. So I'm sure it's making quite a bit more power than that. See a big one
from what Leah told me
behind there.
I'd be surprised if it didn't have a lot of work done to it.
Yeah. Oh, Ralph asked what wheels. So Leah's dad had a set of stock Grand National wheels widened. I'm trying to get a photo or a video of them. Yeah, a set of stock ones widened. I don't even know how wide they are, but they're like the stock wheels, but just wider. Of course, that's not a good photo of the flat tire, but.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Goal with this one is going to keep it original like it is. Keep it the way Leah's dad would have wanted it. So
yeah, no, I can fully understand that. That's good to have.
Yeah, it's a cool car. I mean, you get even just sitting here in the garage. If I open the garage door, I live on a relatively busy street, and people drive by and they just yell, "Nice National," or just give a thumbs up or something like that. So
you guys are the car guys in the street that everyone knows.
Definitely. Definitely,
Yeah,
I try to keep the garage door closed because we live, like I said, we live on a busy street, and I don't want a lot of people prying into our business here. But people definitely know. We have people just stop by sometimes if they see us out there, and or they'll just start talking or whatever it is, or I'll like finally meet somebody somewhere, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy that lives down that street that's got that garage or whatever."
yeah, that's the way we are. And at my parents' house as well with motorbikes, it's the same. It's like, oh, I know your parents' house. This the guy has like the trike and three motorbikes outside, and I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That's the
It's
way
like,
it used to be when I lived with my parents, and of course, back. I don't know if anyone else remembers, but back in the day, I used to have a blue 20th as well.
yeah,
Um, we had it. We had them like a twin feature in PVW a long time ago, and people in the neighborhood knew us as the car with like the two blue Volkswagens and everything because she was obviously always over, and and they always were out in the front driveway.
yeah, that was a great feature with the two cars together because they were pretty well. I would say to look at naturally, they look identical, and then when you look at the details in them, they're far from it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, I missed that car. I sold that my GTI to buy that car, which we'll go over in a minute, and then I bought it back years later. I'd just been probably going through old Facebook posts or Instagram posts or whatever, and saw photos of it, and I just went, man, I really want that car back. And the guy I sold it to texted me, not, but maybe a week or two later, and said, hey, do you want to buy it back? I really want to get rid of it. I want to get into something else. And I said,
Hmm.
yeah, I want to buy it back. So I bought it back, tinkered around with it for a while. It was not really in a good spot, and I couldn't devote much time to it. Couldn't get it figured out. Ended up selling it off to another friend, and where it went from there, I honestly don't even know.
No, that's a pity. But did you say it's probably not the same the second time around?
Yeah, it really wasn't. What was really cool is that the second time around, when I got it, um, I still had all the old stuff pretty much for the car. I still had the same wheels I had for it. I still had all the bumpers. I still had almost everything that I had taken off of it still there, like still sitting in my garage or my shed or wherever. So I bought the car back and I literally put it back to the exact same way that I had it beforehand. And drove it around for a little while, started having problems, and then just washed my hands of it. Said, I got to get out of this. I got too much other stuff going on. So
Yeah. And just the way Celia is joined there and just watching, whose was nicer back in the day? Was
what's
your car
that?
nicer? Whose was the nicer car? Your car or her car?
Oh man. So Leah always liked mine more. She said it drove better. She said everything about it was better, but I don't know. I think I liked hers more. I don't know. I couldn't tell. See, she said Ian's, but
There you go.
I mean, now definitely hers is definitely the nicer one now, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. Oh,
So,
dear. So you want to show us
yeah,
your daily driver then?
yeah. So this is my daily here. This is oh 04 S4 Avant.
I
Um,
love this thing.
she's filthy, but I mean, she's. It's so funny because everyone dogs the 4.2. Everyone says that this car is so unreliable. But to be honest with you, other than a fuel pump that died on it because I put bad gas in it, this car
Mhm.
has almost never left me stranded. It's got 125,000 miles on it and OEM chains. Never done chains on it yet. Haven't done guides on it, and just letting it ride. I mean, it's got the blue Alcantara, the 6-speed. It's got the 8380 Labs reload air freshener I just got in there.
I like it.
But it's a great car. I love it. I really like it. It's not the fastest at all. It's a heavy car, but it's fun to drive. Sounds good, and it's just a lot of fun. And it too. I mean, it's my favorite color. The Nagara blue, the Jazz blue. If you couldn't tell, that's my favorite color. Volkswagen and Audi have come out with, and it just looks really good. And I used to have it lowered. Used to have it on different, better wheels, 3-piece BBS GTs and everything. But I just
Yeah.
kind of got out of trying to do go around every single bump and do this and do that and going through tires like crazy. And I was like, let's lift this thing up, put it on some OEM plus wheels, and just let it ride.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. You've sent me a few videos on WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
it just sounds really good.
Oh, it sounds good. It was a Miltech exhaust when I bought it, and then I just unbolted the mufflers one day to see what it sounded like, and it sounded great. So I literally just put straight pipes in it. So it's got cats, I think one resonator in the middle, and then nothing else. And it sounds great. Not too loud. It's not too crazy. So
Perfect daily.
yeah, it really is perfect daily. So someone asked
Yeah,
what's underneath the tarp. So this is Leah's first car. Well, technically first car. It's an old 300E Mercedes. Um,
so the US headlights, obviously the smaller inset
yeah, the
TVs.
U.S. headlights. I'd love to do Euro headlights on it as well one day.
We could send you some, but the right-hand drive here, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's a really great car. It's got a lot of miles on it, but it needs some maintenance items. But it's a really nice car. It's got about 300,000 miles on it, but I mean, it's an old Mercedes. They just, as long as you take care of them, they just keep going.
Yeah, no, they'll just go
So
forever.
yeah, for sure. So I one day I'll be able to spend some time to this as well. One
Yeah,
day.
it's on
That's
the
the
list.
story for all of them is one day.
Yeah, I keep saying it, but yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
Yep.
And
And then
now
this one here, this
it's the
is
dream car.
that was my dream car, E39 M5. I had always wanted one of those, and years ago I used to work for BMW, a BMW dealership, and I'm sitting there at work, and someone walks up to me and they're like, "Hey, are you going to go buy that M5 that came in on trade?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I bet." You know, I bet someone traded an E39 M5, and jokingly, and then even if they did, I bet it's even in good shape, or they didn't. It's even worth the money. And so I ended up looking into it, and this thing was in fantastic shape. The owner that traded it in had bought it from Enthusiast Auto Group, which is, I mean, they're known for overpricing their cars, but they have really nice selection of older M cars. They're based up in, I think, Cincinnati, Ohio, but if people know about them, it's they'll know about them from because like of the $100,000 M5s they sell, or whatever the other collections that they find. And but it had a good history. I even reached out to them. They had told me a little bit about the car. Um, the price was right, and at the time I talked to Leah and I said, hey, I said this is what I really want. So we found a way to make it happen, and here she is. So I mean, she's mostly stock. When I bought it, it only had a couple things done. Had a Super Sprint exhaust, AFE intake, dine-in tune on it. I lowered it on some H&R coilovers, put a Super Sprint X pipe in it, and pretty much just have left it be. Owned it for now for about I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. And it kind of just right now just sits in the garage, but gets driven occasionally. Um, in fact, the BBS GTs that I had on the S4 are getting rebuilt for this car. I had already bought new lips for them. I'm
I
sending them
didn't
out
know
to
if we were
get.
allowed to mention that.
Was that?
I didn't know if we are allowed to mention that or not. I was sitting thinking that.
Oh yeah, no, of course. There's no secrets. But yeah, I had them re-drilled. I bought new lips for them to build them for this. I've got them boxed up to send up to Nick up in Queens. Nick's blasting and polishing.
Yeah.
I just haven't been able to send them up there, unfortunately. But hopefully pretty soon. And so, I mean, I think they're going to look really good on here. They're going to fit really nice and just kind of give it a really clean look. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't need a whole lot. That car just to push it over the edge would be totally different, but really good.
Yeah. Paul asks, how tight does the garage get when you do the hurricane shovel? So honestly,
Let's
this
do
is
that.
about as tight as it gets right now. The M5 goes underneath the E21. The GTI and the Grand National are actually pretty far apart right now. Usually I have them a little bit closer than that, but this is as many as I can fit in here right now. It's a 2-car garage, and we managed to fit 4 in here. So I really would love to get another lift so that we can have more space, more time, more spots to work on cars and everything. But you know, as with everything else, it takes money.
Yeah, we're
So
looking to build another garage ourselves, and it's looking like a lot of money as well.
yeah, yeah, it really is. It adds up quick. I would love to build another garage, and be able to fit, you know, at least 2 cars back there in the backyard. But it's it adds up quick. So yeah,
And I don't think
that's
you'd be
my
selling
collection
them
here.
permanently.
Not here, but we have one other car that we don't have on at the house. It's in storage. It's an '86 Suburban. That was Leah's parents as well. It's got a blueprint motor, 396 in it, and car's been repainted, retrimmed. It's pretty crazy. It's like a practically fully restored Suburban. This thing is huge. It's like 19 feet long. Barely fits in the garage, but it's
Yeah,
it's
I
a
can see
trip.
why it's not there.
Yeah.
You can put the
Yeah, it's in
GK
its own storage unit right now. So I got a duck to walk under that thing.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's my
No,
collection here. Our collection. I mean, it's Leah's and mine. You know, she encourages this to a degree.
yeah, you have the same problem that I have, or you have
Right.
someone influencing the bad decisions.
Yep. Exactly. So
Yeah,
it doesn't bode well. I mean, it does
yeah,
bode well, but it doesn't, because it's just constant bad decisions.
yep. Same here. That's how we ended up at Alpine Vag for last year. We planned to
Hmm.
go to for New York, and I just happened to send Lee a screenshot of the flyer for it. And I was like, "Yeah, we should have went to this." And she was like, "Why don't we?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's going to happen." It happened.
Yep. As
Leah
David
said,
said, can't get over how clean the underside of the E21 is. So this car has been it was bought in Camel BMW in Arizona, and Camel or Camelback, something like that. And my dad was Navy, so we moved around a little bit. But even when we moved up north, I don't think it saw much snow action or anything like that. So it's for the most part has lived most of its life either in Arizona or Florida, and it's pretty clean, pretty rust free. I mean, it's not perfect, but for its age and for its mileage and everything, it's in decent shape. So
yeah, if you're going to buy a car from somewhere, it's a good area to buy it from.
exactly. So
Very nice.
yeah,
No, thank you very much for showing us around your fleet.
no, appreciate you having me on. I mean, it's really fun here,
Yep.
and you know, you guys, I haven't been able to tune into all of these ones here, but I was able to tune in to the one earlier today and a little bit for the one with Lee's collection and everything, and it's a cool thing you guys are doing here. The podcasts are great. You know, whole thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks very much. It's good to get the feedback from it, and it's great to have people like yourself on.
Of course.
Excellent. And
So
we'll not even give you any abuse for working at Tesla, the demon
no,
company.
yeah, you know, I do work for the arch nemesis. I work for Tesla, so you know, I'm a glutton for punishment for German V8s and all these things, but I still, you know, work for the people who are accelerating the
The death of
EV, the death of them and all that stuff. You know, it's pretty funny, but you know, you can't beat them, join them type of thing. I don't know. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's pretty cool to see the other side of the whole thing. And you know, I don't get into a lot of the back and forth between, you know, like, oh, EVs are doing this or gas cars are doing this, or hey, I'm going to own an electric car because I'm saving the environment. But it's pretty cool to see the other side and just get a different perspective on it. You know, even though it's like, to a degree, I wouldn't say the cars are soulless, but they definitely they're fun to drive, but they're not the same to drive as like a gas car. But they're
yeah.
still fun. They're still cool to me, you know. So it's pretty
No,
interesting.
the fact that you said there you still love your V8s, you still love all the big petrol engines
Sorry.
is one of the reasons why when you tell me things about it. Uh, oh, sorry, cut out. when you tell me things about the electric stuff, I actually listen to it because I'm like, this is a guy who has no bias. You know, he likes what I like, but he also
Right.
likes the other shit. So you get an unbiased opinion with it. So
Yeah.
hopefully, Lee and I obviously are planning to come over and see yourselves, obviously, when this is all over. So maybe get a run out and something and get
Yeah,
talk
of
through it
course.
properly.
No, we could definitely arrange something, I'm sure. Maybe Leo will have a Tesla by then. We'll see.
Don't say it. Lovely. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. I'll
Yeah, of
let you get
course.
on, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Good luck.
Appreciate you
Thank
having
you.
me on and everything. And yeah, you guys stay safe out there, all right?
You too. Good luck.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yes, well, that was Ian showing us around him and his wife Leah's collection, and it's unbelievable. They're a bit like Leah and ourselves, where they collect a lot of cars and don't actually get rid of anything, but they have a lot nicer cars than what we have, to be fair. Um, Thanks very much for tuning in, folks. Anyone who hasn't seen the podcast or heard the podcast lately, the latest one there is episode 10, Sean Maynard from Volkswagen of America. So if you want to check that out, we'll have another one out not this Wednesday, but hopefully the following Wednesday. And anyone who wants to come on and do these lockdown logs, give us a shout and we can hook us up. Thanks very much.